You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. And we're going to be firstly talking to Emma. She's from WOW magazine. She's the editor. Firstly, Emma, thank you very much for coming along and joining us this evening.
My absolute pleasure, Daniel.
Well, I was hoping firstly you could describe to us what WOW magazine actually is.
WOW magazine is an arts and entertainment magazine which mainly centres on Medway, Maidstone and Gravesend, but is beginning to include much wider areas of Kent. It's very much an arts guide. I started it 4 years ago.
So I was hoping you could tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yes, well, I'm an actress. I'm not by profession. I wasn't trained to edit magazines or anything like that, and this is the first business I've ever run. I am a professional actress. I've always acted all the way through, even during setting up and running WOW. But I've now got to a happy point where I'm balancing acting and editing the magazine, with the magazine taking up nearly all my time. It's more or less a full-time job.
Hoping you could tell us a little bit more about how it started and how it's grown as well.
Yes, well, I started the magazine in 2010. I was desperately trying to find the at that time Medway version, because that's where I lived, of Time Out, and I couldn't find that magazine because I'd moved down from London. I couldn't find that magazine anywhere, and I was also up for a bit of a life change for various personal reasons. And in the end, at the end of a long difficult summer trying to decide whether I was going to do it or not, I thought, yes, I'm going to go and do this. I took out a 3-month personal loan to cover me for the first 3 months, which was extremely optimistic, but I didn't know that because I'd never run a business before. And I got going, and I produced my first issue in December 2010 on 2,000 print copies, which I more or less distributed personally on my own in the snow. And now the magazine is on 7,000 print circulation, and people also read it online in its e-edition online.
So I also understand, talking about that it's actually an award-winning arts guide as well.
It is. It has won 2 awards, of which I'm incredibly proud, because at the time I won them, I was really struggling. I won 2 awards within quite quick succession in 2012, at the end of 2012. One was the Kent Independent Traders Best Creative Business in their inaugural year of launching their awards. So I was very proud of that. And then I was even prouder of Medway Council's, it was the Culture and Design Award in the media category.
Well, it's always nice when something grows, because you're saying, you know, from delivering those first ones in the snow to going on to win awards, it must be nice.
It was amazing, because I think when you very often people who start businesses, especially people like me who are, you know, I'm a mum, I run the business from home, I work very much in isolation, and particularly then I was working very much in isolation. And I just didn't know the effect the magazine was having. I didn't know how many people were reading it. And to have that kind of affirmation was absolutely amazing, and it kept me going. Yeah. I
was wondering next, Em, if you could let our listeners know where exactly WOW is available.
Well, it's grown enormously, the circulation of the magazine, so that it started out in Medway, just Medway, and now it's all 5 Medway towns, Maidstone, Gravesend, here on Sheppey, the wonderful artist Laurie Harpham, who delivered your wonderful Love Sheppey day recently, which I happily attended. She brings it here, and it also goes to Dartford now. It's quite a wide area.
Now, if one of our listeners would like something added to WOW, or would like you to cover something, how can they do that or get in contact with you?
They can happily email me at editor@wowkent.com. They can call me. There's a number on the website, which is also wowkent.co.uk. And to let your listeners know, there are free listings in several of the arts, which is film, music, theatre, a little bit of comedy, visual art. I think that's all of them, and occasionally I put some dance in there.
Now I know you want to cover a bit more about the fact of how the magazine's growing now.
Yes, well, earlier this year I was awarded a Community Catalyst grant by Ideas Test, which is essentially an Arts Council grant that you may well have talked about on the show, that's come into the area and to engage more people with the arts. So as a Community Catalyst, I was able to apply for a grant, and I was awarded it in order to rebuild my website, because like many small businesses, the website I'd always had was built for free by a friend, and I was finding it really difficult to update, and I didn't really have a way into it in the back end, and I couldn't really make it how I wanted it. So I was awarded this money, and I've been working all year with some web design people, fantastic people called Nebulo Design in Folkestone, to make a brand new website, which won't just be the magazine, which is really exciting, because I thought it would be when I first started working on it. And working with them, I realised that what I wanted to do was grow the area I could cover, because of course with a print magazine you can only print as many pages as you can afford, so there really is a kind of stopping point. You just can't keep adding more and more content, even though I would like to, and even though I'm sent massive amount of content now, I can't publish it. So I decided I'd like to create an arts kind of calendar type website that could cover the whole of Kent. And eventually I'd like it to become the sort of go-to place for anybody interested in anything arts-wise in Kent. It will take a long time to get there, but that's the aim.
Before you go, Emma, I was just wondering if you could just give our listeners a little bit of a refresher into what WOW is.
Yes, WOW is an arts and entertainment magazine. It's free monthly. It mainly covers Medway, Maidstone and Gravesend, but I also do include what I call the accessible beyond, including events on Sheppey, including events in Canterbury, anything of quality, basically.
So if our listeners would like to get in contact with you or find out more, how can they do that?
Yes, they can email me at editor@wowkent.co.uk, or if they go onto the website, which is wowkent.co.uk. At the moment, you'll find a temporary holding page there, but that's because, as we were talking earlier, I'm about to launch my exciting new website that I'm very excited about. And on there are a few more contact details, like a telephone number, and I don't think there's a contact form at the moment, but if anybody would like to sign up for the newsletter, they can do that there as well.
Well, Emma, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along and telling our listeners all about what you do, and WOW Magazine as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
That is Emma from WOW Magazine this evening.